How's it going, everyone? My name is Lellowblade. Welcome to the tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a fully automatic bamboo farm. Before we get into it, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, and leave a like, as I would really appreciate it. Now let's get into it. So as you can see here, this is the fully automatic bamboo farm, and there you just saw it in action. And as you can see, you have 16 plants all along this dirt here. And essentially the mechanism is, once a bamboo plant, any one of them grows 3 high, the observers will detect it, sending a redstone signal to these pistons, which will chop forward, chopping off the top 2 layers of the bamboo. Those drops will go into this water stream here, which will flow into these hoppers, and subsequently into the chest here. This is a farm that runs completely automatically, and you will not have to do a single thing after you build it, and it will always be running as long as you have the chunks loaded where this farm is located. So in survival, I would recommend building this farm somewhere you are commonly, probably near your base or in your base. Now this farm has absolutely excellent rates. You will get roughly 258 bamboo per hour just from one layer. And this is a layerable design, meaning you can build up more and more layers. The way it is built is vertically upwards. I will show you how to do that if you stick around for a bit. But yeah, 258 an hour per layer. That is ridiculous. For some reference, that is 4 stacks and 2 bamboo per hour. Insane. As you can see, it's a very compact design overall. It's very thin. It's pretty wide, but otherwise very, very thin. Fairly cheap redstone-wise, especially for what you're getting the profit. Now, the materials you're going to need to build this farm are roughly 2 stacks of any block of your choice, 16 dirt, 16 bamboo, a water bucket, 16 pistons, 16 observers, 16 redstone dust, 2 hoppers, 2 chests, and 40 glass. Now, without any further ado, let's get into building this thing. So the first thing you're going to do is take your 2 chests and choose where you want the front and center of your farm to be. Wherever that spot is, simply create a double chest like so with your 2 chests. Next, you're going to take your 2 hoppers and shift click them right into the back of your chest. As you can see, both of the nozzles of these hoppers should be facing and pointing towards the chest. Next you're going to do is come right to the side of your large chest here and go with your block of choice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like so, a row of 7 blocks on each side of the chest. So we're going to do it on the other side now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like so. It should look like this. Now you're going to once again take your block of choice, and we're just going to do the exact same thing we did before, but now this time on the side of the hoppers. So again, 7 on each side of your 2 hoppers here, like so. Next thing we're going to do is again take our block of choice and simply come to this edge block here in the row with the chests and simply go 1, 2, 3, 4, building up vertically. We're going to go to the other side and do the exact same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. Next, you're going to once again take your block of choice and simply connect up the top blocks of each of these 2 pillars, creating a sort of frame. Like so. Next thing we're going to do is from this block here, build up on top of it and then to the right. So you have it diagonal. You can break that block. It should be diagonal like so, and simply build up this 1, 2, 3, 4, even with this height. And we're going to do the exact same on the other side. So once again, build there, destroy this block. You already have 1, 2, 3, 4, even height with this, like so. Now looking at it from the back side, you're going to come up to this pillar we just built and simply fill in 1, 2, 3 with your block of choice, like so. And again, we're going to do the exact same on the other side. Come up to your pillar here and go 1, 2, 3. So not this bottom one, these 3. Build up a further wall like this. Next thing you're going to do is take your dirt or grass block, depending on what you choose to use. Again, you may use either. There is no difference in rates or anything. I just think grass block looks better aesthetically. And you're going to go like this. 1, 2, and again, you can break this. We just want it diagonal from this block again. You're going to bring this all the way along in a row like so. Completely bring it all the way along the back side until you reach the end of this row we had before, like so. Now coming back to our block of choice, we are once again going to build upwards and backwards diagonally from our grass block. This time we're going to go 1, 2. You can go ahead and destroy that block there. And as you can see, we are now diagonal again, and we are going to bring this line of blocks all the way across wherever we have the grass blocks. Again, bring this line of block of your choice like so. You should have something that looks like this at the moment. Now you're going to take your pistons, and on this line of blocks that we just placed, you're going to put your pistons right on top of them like so. And they should be facing this direction, and the way you know they are is if this wooden part, rather to the stone part, is towards the front of your farm. So it should look like this, and you're simply going to bring your pistons all the way along like so. Next, we're going to go ahead and head over to the back of our farm, and right behind wherever we have pistons, we're going to once again take our block of choice and simply place a block right behind it on the same vertical level. Right behind every spot where we placed pistons, it should look like this. Staying on the back side, we're going to take our observers and simply place them right on top of where we have our pistons. And so you will simply click, and you make sure that it's facing the right direction by this red button being towards the back, and this thing that looks like a face facing towards the front. And we're going to take our observers and simply place them in a line all the way on top, right on top of our pistons, like so. Bring them all the way across, and your design should look like this now. Next, you're going to take your redstone dust, and on this line of blocks here that is diagonal from your observers, you are simply going to place one piece of redstone dust on each block like so, and as you can see, it is connecting up to the back of the observers. That is exactly what we want to happen. So now coming up to the top of our farm, we are going to be building a roof for this thing, and now here is where you have a choice. If you are building this in a place in your world where it is very dark, I would recommend swapping out where I'm using block of choice for this roof with glass. That will help with your lighting levels. However, in a world like this, if you just have something that's similar to this, you should get enough light through the front where you don't need to have your ceiling be glass. So it is up to you, and I would use your judgment based on, I'm assuming you're building this in survival. You just have to make sure you have enough light for your bamboo to grow. But for our roof, we are simply going to bring it out. We can destroy that because, again, we just want it diagonal. And we can bring across this line of blocks, or if you're using glass, that works as well as block of your choice, and bring it all the way along until we completely cover up our farm like so. As you can see, your design is definitely starting to take shape now. You're really starting to see it come to life. So the next thing we're going to do is take our glass and simply bring it all the way across like so. And we're going to not put it right on top of where the chest is because we would not be able to open it otherwise. But again, bring it all the way along. And now we can go ahead and actually fill in these next two vertical layers like so. And we can bring it across the top for now. We will fill in the last two, which will go right here once we are completely done. But we still have some work to do inside, so we're not going to fill those in quite yet. But otherwise, bring your glass all the way like so. It should be filled in like this. As you can see, we have this little hole to go out and in. Again, we will fill this in once we are done with the inside. Next thing we're going to do is take our water bucket and simply put a water source in each of these two corners. And as you can see, our water will flow. We have it spaced perfectly so that it flows, and each of them ends right after a hopper. So as you can see, the two flows meet in this divider between the two hoppers. And make sure that your water stream is exactly like this. This is key for the pickup system. And so the next thing we're going to do is simply take our 16 bamboo and place one bamboo plant on each of our grass or dirt blocks, depending on what you chose to use, and completely fill out the row like so. And there you go. Now all you have to do is take your last two glass, simply fill in this top one, leave these two blocks here right above the chest, not with glass, so that you're able to open the chest. But otherwise, there you go. You have completed your farm. This is the completed version of the one-layer farm. If that is all you're interested in and you're okay with the rates of 258 per hour, you're welcome to click off the video. Thank you so much for watching. Now I'm going to go over how to build on a second layer, and that technique is the exact technique you're going to use to build on any layer after that. Again, the rates are 258 per hour. So that is a lot of bamboo, but if you need it in really mass quantities, I would recommend layering this up. From my experience in survival, I would recommend 2 to 5 layers. I just think that is the optimal number as far as resources you're going to have to spend versus profit you are getting. Now for each layer that you add onto your farm, there is an increase in the amount of materials you will need. So for each layer, you will need roughly another stack and a half of any block of your choice, another 18 dirt, another 18 bamboo, another 18 pistons, another 18 observers, another 18 redstone dust, and 48 glass. Now the reason the materials are slightly increased from the first layer is because for each subsequent layer, we do have to slightly widen the dimensions of the farm for the water flow to work in order for all of your drops to filter into the same collection system. Now let's get into building our second layer. Once again, these instructions are the exact instructions you will use for each subsequent layer that you build on. Now the first thing we're going to do is take our block of choice, and right on top of this layer of blocks, which was the top of our frame, we're going to simply create another layer of blocks, again block of your choice, and put it right on top of every single block, except we're going to extend it out horizontally one more on each side. So again, horizontally one more on each side, like so. So the next thing we're going to do is go up to this edge we just added on this layer of blocks we just put, and simply build up 1, 2, 3, 4. We are again making a frame. So on the other side again, on this extra block, build up 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are going to once again connect up the top blocks of this new frame we've created. Completed, the step should look like this. The next thing you're going to do is find the center 2 blocks horizontally, or where your chest and hoppers are. You're going to come up to this layer here, find the middle row, and simply break those middle 2 like so. So you should have an opening that goes directly down to your 2 hoppers. So now what we're going to do while we're up here is simply extend in this middle layer, again outwards like we did on this front row here of blocks, simply extend it outwards one more. Now from that block we just extended outwards, we are once again going to build diagonal like so, and you can destroy this one so we have diagonal, and build up your walls until they are even with your frame. And we're going to do that on the other side as well. So we're going to come over here, we're going to build diagonal, we can go ahead and destroy that one, it is diagonal, and now we're going to build up until we're even with the frame in height. Now we're going to come up to these walls we just built and simply go 1, 2, 3 on these blocks. Again, just like we done on the first layer, create your walls 1, 2, 3 like so. Now while we're up here again, we are also going to extend this back layer one more with block of your choice, so all of your 3 rows of blocks should be even at this length like so. Now you're going to once again take your dirt or grass block, whichever you prefer, and simply put it in a row on this row of blocks like so. All the way across, like so. It should be filled in. You should now have something that looks like this. The next thing you're going to do is take your block of choice and go back and upwards diagonally from your grass block like so, back up, and is diagonal from the grass block. You could destroy that one, and you can simply build your block of choice in a row on this level. Everywhere you have your grass block, you're going to build it in a row like so. Next, you're going to take your pistons and simply put them in a line on top of these blocks we just placed. Again, this is very familiar to the first layer, except it is wider now. And again, bring your pistons all the way along this line until it should look like this. Now we're going to once again take our block of choice and put a row of blocks right behind our pistons. Again, on the same vertical layer, a row of blocks just right behind our pistons, like so. Now we'll take our observers, and right on top of the pistons, we will place a row of observers, and once again, make sure they are facing the right direction. The red button should be on the back facing towards you, and the face looking thing should be facing towards the front. Again, bring them in a row all the way across all of your pistons, like so. Now on this line of blocks, which is lower and back diagonal from your observers, you're going to place 1 redstone dust on each block, and again, your redstone dust should connect up into the back of the observers. That is exactly what we want. Your redstone work should now look like this. Now again, for the roof, just like I said, if you were building this a 1-story version, you can either use block of your choice or glass, depending on your light levels. If your light levels are low, I would recommend glass. If your light levels are all good, I would recommend just using the block of your choice. And again, simply bring the blocks all the way across, sealing off your farm here with a roof like so. We're going to bring it all the way across, and there we go. Now we're going to come on inside this second layer here, and we're going to take our glass and simply put it in a row all the way along like so. We are not skipping any, we're not putting any gaps like we did on the first layer. We are not doing that this time. We are simply completely filling it in for this second layer here with glass. Now we're going to take our water bucket and once again place a water source in each of these back walls here. And now you should see something slightly different with the water flow, and this is why we had to slightly switch up the dimensions from the first layer, is the water should flow all the way right up to this gap here, right up to this ledge, but it should not flow down. If it flows down, that means you did not follow the directions, you did not build this one wider, which is what you had to do. And yeah, as you can see, the way this works now is when an item falls down into the water stream, it will be flowed right down into the hole, and then it will fall down into the hoppers from our first layer, which makes this super easy, super efficient for an automatic farm, because all you have to do is check down on your first layer and you will get the drops from the second layer here too. Now the last thing we have to do here is simply place in our bamboo, one on each grass or dirt block, depending on what you chose to use. Simply put one on each one. You should have 18. And there we go. So yeah, as you can see, this is what our 2-layer version of the farm looks like, and you will simply complete this exact pattern over and over and over, all the way up as many layers as you want to do. Again, I would recommend 2 to 5 for survival. That is what I have found ideal in my survival worlds, but hey, whatever works for you. With that being said, you have reached the end of the tutorial. I hope this video was helpful, as that is always the #1 goal. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Drop a comment if you have any questions, concerns, or need any clarification on anything shown in this video. If this video helped you, slap a like on it because it really helps me out a bunch. Check out my second channel, Lellowblade Extras, for even more Minecraft content. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Lellowblade for more updates and clips. I have been Lellowblade, and until next time, peace.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, and